I've had it feel like I've got a hangover. It's just it was a tough day, because I thought we weren't playing the way that we'd like early on in the game, but we had genuine chance, especially through the middle part of the second quarter, to give ourselves a 2 or 3 goal buffer, and we missed some dreadful shots at goal in the first 40 minutes of the game. The best type of pressure you can apply to an opposition is scoreboard pressure, and if we'd have been able to nail those opportunities, then Fremantle's got to change the way that they want to play the game. Because we don't, then they continue to persevere with the strategies that they'll use, and then we're having to change the way that we played. So what was really pleasing is that we were able to get ourselves back into the contest and win the game, but it took us pretty much until 20 minutes into the third quarter, where the momentum started to just, albeit not enormously on the scoreboard, the momentum started to shift our way. And we're absolutely stoked with the effort to run over the top of them in the last quarter and take the win and move on. But we had to work so much harder as a result of our poor start to the game.
So you kind of had it almost, well, 4 or 5 times this year. I think you've been able to do away with someone with a burst of green footy, I suppose, where you killed 6, 7, 8 in reasonably short order.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think of a team in the competition though, Steve, who dominate for 4 quarters. It's a tough game. Even the Pies, who've been the most dominant side for the last 18 months, they can't put together 4 quarters of footy, because it's really tough to be able to do. You know, St Kilda last night were terrific for a half, but that's the game at the current time. You know, the ebbs and flows within a game. It's very, very difficult to. If you look at Collingwood and the Cats and Hawthorn, West Coast, Carlton, they've all won a similar amount of quarters, believe it or not, for the year. Despite the Cats and Collingwood probably being the standout sides, and I think they are, it's not like they're really dominating games for 4 quarters. Obviously, the Cats had a pretty convincing win yesterday, but that's just the way games are, and it's to the credit of all sides in the competition, in a sense, that you can find yourself in games for periods, and the really good sides are the ones that can have control of the game for longer. And today was a little bit different though, because we only really had control of the game for perhaps 40 minutes of a 120-minute contest, and that's what was pleasing for us, that we were able to find a way to win in those circumstances.
It wasn't criticism. It was
the
fact that you've got the ability to do it.
Yeah, that's right, and it's great that we have. We don't want to rely on it though, and I'm sure the Pies and the Cats and other sides who are winning games of footy, you don't want to be 3 goals down at 3/4 time before you say, all right, let's click into gear, because I can't think of too many times where sides regularly come from 3 goals down at 3/4 time to win games of footy, and we certainly don't want to make it a habit.
Was that your message though, at half time, 3/4 time, not to tear the balls down, just to emphasise if we make the most of the opportunities that we're creating?
We were tearing the balls down a little bit. We were frustrated that we couldn't play our game, and that's full credit to the Dockers. But it was also obvious that if we just persevered and hung in there, that we'd be able to get ourselves back into the contest. And Bruce came onto the ground sort of 15 or 20 minutes into the third quarter and gave our forward structure a little bit of a different mix, a little bit more speed, and played a little bit higher up the ground. Rioli was obviously very important over the course of the day. He was terrific for us, and we just slowly started to, as I said earlier, just get ourselves back into the contest towards the end of the third quarter, and then it became a bit of an avalanche in the last quarter. You love those avalanches when they're coming your way, but they're terrible to try and stop the momentum. And we're fortunate. We're home ground, and it was a very, very dead game until the brown and gold supporters started to really cheer out loud in the last quarter. It was great to really drive our boys along.
It's significant, you think, that moment with Burton intercepting the ball and late in the third term, getting the fend off, getting the ball, Bruce ended up being the guy on the end of it. But they were right at that point, at that stage, Fremantle kicked away.
Yeah. Listen, there was a couple of instances, Mick, where the ball went from coast to coast, Fremantle kicking goals that just can happen so quickly. We got a couple of turnovers. We didn't get as many turnovers through the middle of the ground as what we usually do, and we had a lot of turnovers ourselves in the first part of the game. Birch had a terrific one where he intercepted at the end of the third quarter, and a shocker where he gave it to him at the start of the third quarter. We're just pleased. I don't think that any one point was pivotal, albeit that when we changed our structure and went with a little bit more speed in the last part of the game, that certainly helped us put some pressure on the Fremantle defence.
How are you going to turn around from a stoppage point of view? Obviously, that start of the last quarter was quite stunning the way you're able to get footy out of the stoppages.
Yeah, well, there's no real strategy except to keep hanging in there, and Big Max showed us that he can ruck. We're really pleased with his whole game, really, but particularly his last quarter. He's probably our only recognised ruckman in the sense that we go into the game. He's roughly, obviously, very serviceable in that area, but in a sense, he's going up against Clark, who's his ruck position is mainly ruck, and obviously Griffin too. But they've got Bradley, who's ruck for him as a pinch hitter, and also Johnson that can do that. So they went in particularly tall, and I think that probably helped us a little bit. Why our legs were so good in the last part of the game that their tall players couldn't go with some of our shorter runners in the end of the game.
You still get nervous with Max? You obviously came off the ground after that very first ruck contest, and he's obviously had his issues over the top.
Yeah, he caught one of the agates, I think he's all right. As I said, any injury apart from his knees, we don't mind with Big Maxi. So anything's a bonus other than the legs. So we're just stoked for him. He had it's pivotal games for some of these young lads. Same with Bruce. When they and I can remember Buddy and Ruffy experienced it in 2005 and 2006. Games where you make a contribution that actually really influences the outcome of a match, and those two boys will get enormous belief out of that game. Bruce and Bailey to not just be playing and be part of a 22, but actually really play a role and assist the side win. All the 20 other blokes that they play with, plus supporters and coaches, anyone who watches the game sits there and says, gee, Bruce can do some things, and God, wasn't Bailey great in the last quarter? Gee, also for the lads themselves, that makes their benchmark a little bit higher than what it's been previously. It's not just, I'll get in there and see if I can do a bit. It's now I can get in there and actually influence a game, and that's really important for all players, especially youngsters coming into the game.
Likewise, what do you say to Lyle after the game? He presented well and everything, but he just looked shocking for himself.
Yeah. I suppose the thing you say to him, Mick, is at least you're getting it, champ. And he looked okay. He just looked terrible when he was lining up. He'll stick at it. He's a good lad, and he's waited a long time for his chance. I think he's been in emergency 12 times before he finally got a call up because of Buddy's late withdrawal. So he'll persevere, and he'll probably next week he'll come out and kick 3 or something, and rather than the 3 points he kicked today.
You touched on the Cats before, and the only top 4 sides you've confronted so far in the year. How do you approach them? And now as a measure of your own sort of season?
Yeah, well, gee, they're 10-zip and playing great footy. Scotty's just made some slight tweaks to the way they've gone about it. They've injected some young kids into their group too, which has been really good for the spirit around their club. And we're going to need to play really good footy. We lowered our colours to them about 6 weeks ago. We started the game really well and got ourselves back into the contest, and then just couldn't go on with the game. So we need to play a lot better than what we did last time against them. We need to play a lot better than we did today to be able to defeat them too. So it'll be a great contest, I'd imagine. Is it our home game, Foxy?
No.
Oh, bummer. I reckon there'll be 80,000 next week. It'll be a great game of footy Saturday night, and we want to. Geelong have been the best side despite Collingwood's dominance in the last 18 months. Cats have been the best side over the last 5 years. We've had some great contests with them, but they've knocked us off the last 5 times since we played the 2008 grand final. So we acknowledge they're still a tremendous side, and we need to do some work a bit better than what we did today.